Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tearing into my latest Facebook Marketplace find, a 2012 Club Car Precedent. I'm Jeff, welcome to Kart Crazy. Alright, here's your first look. Well, maybe not your first. If you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen a few sneak peeks of this guy. If you haven't done that, maybe check me out at Kart Crazy on Facebook. But this cart I have named Mr. Rogers, and there's a long story behind that, and I won't bore you with the details. But lots of things going on. One of the first major issues is it doesn't steer. It's basically locked up in straight, which is a little bit more helpful than the wheels being cranked, but something's rusted up, or I got to look at that. It was basically like trying to drive an old 67 Ford in here without power steering. So we've got that going on. We've got a busted up bumper. It's got this wrap on it, which looks kind of cool from a distance, but then you get up close and you can see where it's starting to chip away and it doesn't fit in certain spots and things like that. But that's all coming off anyway, of course. Decent-ish wheels. They're scuffed a little bit. I was thinking about maybe trying to clean these up and reuse them. I'm not 100% sure yet. Tires are shot. They're all dry rotted and from sitting outside, so they're definitely going to need tires regardless. And by the time you buy tires, it's usually only about $150 more or $200 more to get wheels. So not sure what we're going to do there. Got a lot of ideas, of course, as always. This is actually going to be somewhat of a budget build. I've got lots of my neighbors now that I've got moved into the new place here looking for carts, and some of them don't want to spend, you know, a big pile of money on a golf cart. So we're gonna do this one up relatively on a budget, so to speak. Oh, a lot going on. Look at this floor mat in here. This is all completely dry rotted. Basically falls apart and crumbles in your hand when you even touch it. So we definitely got to get a floor in there, which is no big deal. Somebody's been into the dash for whatever reason. Of course, it's absolutely dead where it sits. You know, there's a possibility that these batteries may charge up, but you know how I feel about lead acid, so those are going to get pulled out and hauled off to the junkyard. Lots of mud and crud, and even got mud wasps in here, dirt daubers. So there's another one down there. The seats have been somewhat recovered, but I've got other seats we're going to put on it. Does have a back seat kit on it. These arms, you know, are kind of bent up and there's some rust going on. I don't know if I have another set of arms or not. I did, but I think I may have used the last setup that I had. We've got rust holes down here, which I'll either have to repair or do something with that. So lots and lots and lots going on with it, but the biggest thing today is I've only got a few hours to mess with it, so what I'm probably going to do is just do a quick tear down, pull the batteries out. I do have a bigbattery.com coming for this guy. Supposed to be here in 3 or 4 days, I think, if I remember right, last time I looked. And we'll get that dropped in here and probably replace these roof struts. Do something different with the roof itself. Either I've got a white one or we'll buy a new black one. They're not too expensive from the dealer. I've got that body laying there. I've got the front suspension if I need that for whatever is rusted up. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you real quick here, but I'd like to just get it tore down and see what we're working with. Make sure it's going to run and move. I may just steal a battery out of another cart that I've got here just to see if it's going to work and operate. Make sure the motor's good and the brakes are decent and all that fun stuff. So let's start tearing into it and see what we got. All right, well, got the roof and everything off, and was just gonna pop the back seat off as a whole, and then maybe break it down. Got everything loose. And let me show you something on this one. Of course, these seat kits have the bolts that go down through, and then you put a nut on the bottom here, obviously. But they also use, I don't know if you can see that, there's like a metal spacer, so when you tighten the nut up, you're not running up into the plastic. Well, that bolt is actually seized into that bushing that they put in there. So you can see I tapped it a couple times with the hammer and it just started bending over. So now we got to get creative and either cut the head off at the top or try to drive it through a little more. But man, is this thing dirty. I have done a bunch of these club cars and this is definitely the dirtiest. Looks like they were using it for mud running. Look at that rim, just packed full of mud. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of shape this thing is in. Alright, so my other camera died. I think I had the wrong connector on it or something. But anyway, got a few things done, and sorry if you missed some of it with the camera dying, but using my cell phone here real quick just to give you an update. This thing is terribly muddy, way worse than I thought. We had dirt daubers everywhere. You can see down there, there's one on the floor. This was full of mud. My wife came out to help me with the vacuum cleaner as I'm working. Basically had to vacuum every screw hole out just to be able to get at the heads of the screws on it. We're losing daylight fast, but our goal was to try to get it outside and get some pressure washing done. I don't know if that's going to happen today or not, but we'll keep chugging away and give you another update here in a little bit. Well, here we are back in the garage. Completely ran out of daylight. As you can see, we were out there with flashlights and everything else trying to make things work. I know I skipped over a lot in this. I wanted to get into a little more detail, but I was having problems with my camera, and I've actually been using my cell phone, so we'll see how this turns out. But this probably looks a little overwhelming if you've never done anything like this. And really, it is super basic and super easy. You just have to basically follow these wires where they go, and everything unplugs from the factory. There's no cutting, or you don't have to splice or do anything like that. Everything drops into place. There's a series of panels and the floorboard and so on. But I just wanted to point that out. So hopefully between the other video from the camera and the video from the cell phone, we'll be able to put this together and make something out of it. But I appreciate y'all coming along, and we'll see you next time on Kart Crazy.